Intelligence is a broad concept, often defined in many ways. It may encompass features such as rationality, reasoning, the desire to learn, creativity, and flexibility. However, no one can provide a definitive description of intelligence, nor is there a single trait that encapsulates it. There are, however, some general trends shared by those deemed bright and talented. These individuals not only harness their cognitive abilities, but also embody prudence and amiability in their daily choices. In Stoicism, intelligence extends beyond mere intellect. It encompasses the wisdom to live in accordance with nature and virtue. Stoics emphasize the importance of aligning our thoughts and actions with reason and understanding the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. This clarity enables us to navigate life with purpose and resilience. With this Stoic lens, we can identify 10 behaviors that civilized people, in their pursuit of a meaningful life, usually avoid. By consciously steering clear of these actions, we cultivate a life rich in virtue, wisdom, and tranquility. Number 1. Meaningless interactions. In a world overflowing with distractions and constant connectivity, we often find ourselves engaged in interactions that lack depth and meaning. Whether it's the endless scrolling through social media, small talk with acquaintances, or superficial exchanges with strangers, these meaningless interactions can consume our time and energy, leaving us feeling unfulfilled and disconnected. As we navigate through life, it's essential to understand the nature of these interactions and how Stoicism can guide us in responding to them wisely. Stoicism teaches us that not all interactions are created equal. Some enrich our lives, while others drain our energy and divert us from our true purpose. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of focusing on what truly matters. They believed our time is precious and should be spent on meaningful pursuits, fostering genuine connections, and engaging in conversations that promote growth and understanding. By recognizing that our interactions can be either meaningful or meaningless, we gain the power to choose how we engage with the world around us. Meaningless interactions often stem from our desire for validation or fear of loneliness. We might find ourselves participating in conversations that add little value to our lives, simply to fill the silence or appease social expectations. However, Stoicism encourages us to resist this urge. Instead of seeking approval from others through shallow exchanges, we can practice self-reflection and cultivate a sense of inner fulfillment. By acknowledging that our worth does not depend on external validation, we can focus on building relationships that nourish our souls and contribute to our personal growth. In the realm of social media, for instance, we may find ourselves trapped in a cycle of seeking likes and comments, mistaking these interactions for genuine connection. Stoicism urges us to step back and question the significance of these digital exchanges. Are they enhancing our lives or merely distracting us from more meaningful pursuits? By applying the Stoic principle of mindfulness, we can evaluate our online interactions and prioritize those that align with our values and goals. Moreover, when we encounter meaningless interactions, we can choose to approach them with grace and composure. Instead of letting frustration or disappointment dictate our reactions, we can remind ourselves that we cannot control how others choose to engage with us. By embracing the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control, we can focus on our responses rather than trying to change others. This perspective empowers us to navigate superficial interactions with a sense of detachment, allowing us to maintain our peace of mind. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to meaningless interactions encourages us to cultivate awareness, prioritize authenticity, and foster connections that matter. By recognizing the difference between shallow exchanges and genuine conversations, we can make intentional choices about how we engage with others. Let us remember that our time is finite, and that every interaction offers an opportunity for growth or distraction. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can navigate the complexities of social life with purpose and clarity, enriching our experiences and nurturing meaningful connections along the way. In a world filled with distractions, let's strive to focus on what truly matters, engaging in interactions that enrich our lives and reflect our values. Remember, the quality of our interactions shapes the quality of our lives. Choose wisely. Number 3, conformity for the sake of it. In a world that often celebrates uniformity over individuality, many of us succumb to the pressure to fit in. The desire to conform can stem from our natural instinct to belong, yet we must ask ourselves, at what cost? The Stoics, ancient philosophers who valued wisdom, virtue, and self-control, provide us with a powerful framework for navigating this dilemma. To start, let's consider the nature of conformity. It often manifests in our choices, what we wear, how we act, and even what we think. Many people make decisions not based on their true values or beliefs, but rather out of a desire for acceptance. However, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle challenges us to reflect on our actions. Are we conforming because we genuinely believe in the cause, or are we simply following the crowd? One of the key tenets of Stoicism is understanding the dichotomy of control. We must recognize what is within our power and what is not. While we cannot control others' opinions or societal norms, we can control our responses to them. When we conform without questioning, we relinquish our autonomy and become prisoners of external expectations. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, urged us to be yourself, highlighting the importance of authenticity in a world that often pressures us to wear masks. Moreover, the fear of judgment can be paralyzing. Many of us worry about how others perceive us, leading to decisions that don't align with our true selves. This anxiety is amplified in the age of social media, where curated personas often dictate what is deemed acceptable. However, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our character rather than the fleeting opinions of others. Seneca reminds us that a good character, a good life, these are things that can be achieved. By prioritizing our inner virtues over external validation, we reclaim our power and define our paths. Yet, it's essential to differentiate between healthy social engagement and blind conformity. While humans are inherently social beings, the Stoics advocate for a balance between belonging and individuality. We can participate in communities and relationships while still holding true to our principles. We must ask ourselves, are we engaging out of genuine interest, or are we simply conforming to avoid discomfort? To combat conformity, we can practice self-reflection and mindfulness. Journaling about our values, beliefs, and experiences can help clarify our motivations. Regularly questioning our decisions allows us to understand whether we're acting out of authenticity or obligation. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In conclusion, while the urge to conform is a natural human instinct, we must challenge ourselves to embrace our individuality. Let us not sacrifice our values and beliefs for the sake of fitting in. By practicing Stoicism and embracing our true selves, we can find strength in authenticity and lead lives rich in purpose and meaning. Number 4, taking things personally. In today's world, it's easy to take things personally. Whether it's a critical comment from a coworker, a misunderstanding with a friend, or even a fleeting glance from a stranger, we often interpret these situations as personal attacks. This habit can lead to unnecessary stress, anxiety, and conflict. However, Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, provides profound insights into why we shouldn't take things personally and how we can cultivate emotional resilience. At the heart of Stoicism is the concept of the dichotomy of control, which teaches us to differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot. Our thoughts, feelings, and reactions fall within our realm of influence, while other people's opinions and actions lie beyond our control. When we take things personally, we often allow external factors to dictate our emotional state. For example, if someone criticizes our work, we might internalize that feedback as a reflection of our worth. In doing so, we hand over our power, letting another's opinion shape our self-esteem and sense of identity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that the judgments of others are not a reflection of our value, but rather a projection of their own experiences, insecurities, and biases. By understanding this, we can develop a more objective perspective. Instead of responding with hurt or anger, we can ask ourselves, what is within my control, and how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? Embracing a Stoic mindset means practicing mindfulness and self-reflection. When faced with criticism or negativity, we can pause and reflect before reacting. We might consider the intentions behind the comment or action. Often, what we perceive as a personal attack may simply reflect the other person's struggles or frustrations. This understanding fosters empathy, allowing us to respond with compassion rather than defensiveness. Additionally, practicing gratitude can shift our focus away from the negative. Instead of dwelling on hurtful comments or situations, we can remind ourselves of the positive aspects of our lives and the people who genuinely support us. This shift in perspective helps cultivate emotional resilience and a more balanced outlook. It's also essential to remember that everyone has their own battles. Just as we may be sensitive to criticism, others may be navigating their insecurities and frustrations. When we recognize this common humanity, we can better detach our self-worth from the opinions of others. In conclusion, taking things personally can hinder our emotional well-being and growth. By applying the principles of Stoicism, we can cultivate a mindset that values inner strength, self-reflection, and empathy. We learn to focus on what we can control, our responses and actions, rather than being swayed by external judgments. In doing so, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also empower ourselves to engage with the world from a place of resilience and confidence. Let us remember the words of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity, free from the burden of taking things personally. Number 5. Getting tied down by problems. In our modern lives, it's all too easy to feel overwhelmed by the multitude of problems we face daily. From the smallest inconveniences to significant life challenges, it often seems like we're tied down by an unending cycle of worries. However, Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded in Greece, offers valuable insights into how we can navigate these challenges with resilience and clarity. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot. When confronted with a problem, we should ask ourselves, is this something I have the power to change, or is it beyond my influence? This fundamental question helps alleviate the weight of burdens we carry unnecessarily. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important meeting. The stress builds, and you can feel the frustration boiling over. Instead of getting caught up in the anger of the situation, a Stoic would suggest reframing your perspective. Traffic is an external factor beyond your control. Your response to it, however, is within your grasp. By focusing on your reactions, you can maintain a sense of calm and poise, even in frustrating circumstances. The Stoics believed that our perceptions shape our experiences, emphasizing the importance of approaching challenges with a mindset of acceptance and reason. Moreover, when problems arise, they often bring with them a barrage of negative emotions: anxiety, fear, frustration. These emotions can tie us down, preventing us from moving forward. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot always prevent adverse circumstances, we can control our emotional responses. Instead of succumbing to despair, we can practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean we ignore our feelings. Rather, we acknowledge them without allowing them to dictate our actions. By recognizing that emotions are temporary, we can detach from their intensity, giving ourselves the mental space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Another key Stoic principle is the concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This idea encourages us to embrace our challenges and see them as opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing problems as burdens, we can learn to appreciate them as essential parts of our journey. Each obstacle presents a lesson and a chance to cultivate virtues like patience, resilience, and wisdom. When we shift our mindset to view adversity as a teacher rather than an adversary, we can transform our struggles into stepping stones for personal development. In conclusion, feeling tied down by problems is a common human experience, but we hold the key to breaking free from that weight. By applying the principles of Stoicism, we can reframe our perspectives, manage our emotional responses, and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Remember, it's not the problems themselves that define us, but how we choose to respond to them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let this reminder guide you as you navigate the complexities of life, helping you untie the bonds of worry and emerge stronger and more resilient. Number 6. Being closed to feedback. In our journey of personal development, one of the most significant hurdles we face is being closed to feedback. This resistance can stem from fear of criticism, pride, or a deep-seated belief that we know best. Yet to truly grow, we must learn to embrace feedback, even when it challenges our perceptions. As Stoics, we understand that feedback is not merely a reflection of our abilities, but an opportunity for self-improvement and a pathway to wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of learning from others. He famously stated, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This encapsulates the idea that obstacles, such as receiving feedback, are essential to our growth. When we close ourselves off to feedback, we close ourselves off from growth. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control what others say or think, but we can control our reactions to it. Instead of viewing feedback as a threat, we can choose to see it as an essential tool for self-reflection and improvement. By adopting this mindset, we open ourselves to new perspectives and insights that can refine our skills and enhance our understanding. The Stoics understood that every opinion, whether positive or negative, can offer valuable lessons. They encouraged the practice of reflecting on feedback objectively, separating our emotions from the message itself. This allows us to assess feedback based on its merit, rather than our ego. Moreover, embracing feedback aligns with the Stoic principle of amor fati, or love of fate. This philosophy teaches us to accept all experiences, good and bad, as necessary parts of our life journey. When we approach feedback with a sense of curiosity rather than defensiveness, we can cultivate resilience and adaptability. Instead of feeling threatened by constructive criticism, we can appreciate it as a chance to understand ourselves better and improve. To practice this, we can develop strategies for receiving feedback gracefully. For instance, when someone offers criticism, take a moment to pause before reacting. Breathe deeply and remind yourself that their input can be a valuable resource. Ask clarifying questions to fully understand their perspective, and then reflect on how you can incorporate this feedback into your growth process. Another vital aspect of receiving feedback is humility. The Stoics taught that humility is a strength, not a weakness. Acknowledging that we don't have all the answers allows us to remain open to learning. This humility creates space for constructive conversations and fosters healthier relationships. We should remember that everyone has their own experiences and insights that can contribute to our growth. Engaging with feedback allows us to build deeper connections with others, as it shows we value their perspectives and insights. In conclusion, being open to feedback is not merely an act of listening, but a commitment to continuous growth. By adopting a Stoic approach, we can transform our relationship with feedback from one of defensiveness to one of gratitude. Embrace feedback as a vital part of your journey, an essential tool for growth and an opportunity to cultivate wisdom. As we learn to accept and learn from the feedback we receive, we will find ourselves becoming more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately more aligned with our true potential. Remember, every piece of feedback is a stepping stone toward becoming the best version of yourself. Number 7. Letting emotions hijack decision-making. In today's fast-paced world where we're constantly bombarded by information and stimuli, it's all too easy to let our emotions hijack our decision-making. We often find ourselves reacting impulsively, driven by feelings of anger, fear, or even excitement, rather than taking a step back to assess the situation rationally. This emotional turbulence can lead to decisions we later regret, impacting our relationships, careers, and overall well-being. Drawing from Stoic philosophy, we can gain valuable insights into managing our emotions and making more deliberate choices. The Stoics believed in the importance of rationality and self-control. They taught that while we cannot always control external events, we can control how we respond to them. Emotions are natural, but they should not dictate our actions. Instead of allowing our feelings to take the wheel, we should strive to cultivate a mindset of detachment. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions. Rather, it means acknowledging them without letting them dictate our responses. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By focusing on our reactions, we can navigate through emotional storms more effectively. To illustrate this point, consider a situation where you receive critical feedback at work. Your initial emotional response might be defensiveness or anger, leading to a hasty reply that could damage your professional relationships. Instead, the Stoic approach encourages us to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what is the feedback really saying? Is there a grain of truth in it? How can I use this to improve? This moment of reflection allows you to respond thoughtfully, turning a potentially negative situation into an opportunity for growth. One practical technique to manage emotions is the premeditation of evils, a Stoic practice where you envision potential challenges and how you might react to them. By anticipating difficult scenarios, you prepare yourself mentally, reducing the chances of an emotional hijack when those situations arise. This proactive mindset cultivates resilience, enabling you to remain calm and collected in the face of adversity. Another important Stoic principle is the dichotomy of control, which teaches us to differentiate between what we can and cannot control. Emotions often arise from our desire to control the uncontrollable, such as the actions and opinions of others. Recognizing that we can only control our thoughts and responses allows us to let go of unnecessary emotional turmoil. When you find yourself in a heated moment, remind yourself of this principle. Are my feelings justified? Am I allowing external factors to dictate my emotional state? Finally, practice mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows you to observe your emotions without judgment. This awareness fosters clarity, empowering you to make decisions rooted in reason rather than reaction. Journaling can also be a valuable tool in this process. Writing down your thoughts and feelings helps clarify them, making it easier to separate rational insights from emotional responses. While emotions are an intrinsic part of being human, they should not control our decision-making. By embracing Stoic principles, we can learn to navigate our feelings with greater awareness and intention. Remember, it's not the emotions themselves that are the problem, it's how we respond to them that shapes our lives. Let us strive to cultivate the self-discipline and clarity that Stoicism teaches, transforming potential emotional hijacks into opportunities for thoughtful decision-making and personal growth. Number 8. Mindless consumption of media. In today's digital age, we find ourselves inundated with a relentless stream of media, from social media feeds to 24-hour news cycles, streaming platforms, and beyond. The allure of this endless content can be hard to resist, leading many of us into the trap of mindless consumption, where our attention is dictated by algorithms and trending topics rather than our values and intentions. This passive engagement can cause us to lose sight of what truly matters, inadvertently allowing external influences to dictate our emotions and actions. Here, the wisdom of Stoicism can guide us toward a more intentional and fulfilling way of interacting with media. The Stoics teach us to focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. This principle is crucial for navigating the vast sea of media. Much of what we consume, trending stories, sensational headlines, and viral videos, lies beyond our control. However, we have the power to choose how we engage with the content presented to us. Mindless consumption often leads to emotional turbulence, anxiety, and distraction from our true purpose. Instead, we should practice discernment, critically evaluating what we consume to ensure it aligns with our values and goals. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of self-reflection, reminding us to regularly examine our thoughts and actions. By applying this reflection to our media consumption, we can cultivate greater awareness of how it impacts our mindset and emotional well-being. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate virtue and wisdom in our lives. Mindless consumption frequently exposes us to negativity, outrage, and divisive narratives that can cloud our judgment and detract from our character. Instead, we should seek out media that promotes wisdom, inspires personal growth, and aligns with our values. This means being selective about the content we engage with, whether it's educational documentaries, uplifting podcasts, or literature that challenges our thinking. In doing so, we align our media consumption with the Stoic ideal of living a virtuous life. Another key Stoic concept is the idea of focusing on the present. Mindless consumption can easily pull us away from the here and now, leaving us feeling overwhelmed and disconnected. Epictetus, another influential Stoic, taught that we should be mindful of how we spend our time and attention. When we scroll through our devices without purpose, we miss opportunities for meaningful engagement with the world around us, whether that's connecting with loved ones, pursuing a hobby, or reflecting on our thoughts. By setting boundaries around our media consumption, we can reclaim our time and redirect our focus toward what truly enriches our lives. Swing mindless media consumption is a pervasive challenge in our modern lives, but the teachings of Stoicism offer valuable insights for navigating this landscape. By embracing discernment, cultivating virtue, and focusing on the present, we can transform our media consumption from a mindless habit into a purposeful practice. Let us remember that we have the power to choose what we consume and how it affects us. In doing so, we can cultivate a life aligned with our values and intentions. As we move forward, may we embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and make our media consumption a source of empowerment rather than distraction. In conclusion, by consciously avoiding these 8 behaviors, intelligent individuals align themselves with the core principles of Stoicism. They understand that true strength lies in controlling what they can, such as their thoughts, actions, and reactions, and letting go of things outside their control. This mindset not only fosters mental clarity, but also leads to a more peaceful, fulfilled life. By avoiding distractions like excessive validation seeking or needless arguments, they stay focused on personal growth and resilience. Remember, wisdom isn't just about knowing what to do, it's about knowing what to avoid. Thanks for watching, and see you in next video. Bye.